All right, lesson 2, here we go. Let's inhale our hands all the way up, reach them all the way up, and then exhale as you dive your body down into a forward fold, and you walk your hands to the front of your mat and step your feet back into a downward facing dog. Now let's pick your right leg up as high as you can get it and step that leg in between your hands for a warrior 1, back foot sideways, hands straight up. Beautiful. Remember, breathing and your breath, and you think about those areas where you feel tightness and tension, and you try to let it go. Now take both hands, interlock them behind you. Bring your shoulder blades back in together, open that chest. We can start to look up, take a big inhale in, and as you exhale, dive your body down to the inside of that leg and lift those hands up as high as you can. And do not forget about that back foot. You're still driving through that back leg and pushing through that back foot, even though you're diving forward. Now release both hands down to the inside of your front leg. Scoot your front leg over to the side of your mat. Pivot on your back foot so your back heel is up. And if you can, drop down to your elbows. Think about that area of tension, that area of tightness. You try to consciously let it go. If you're not all the way down to your elbows on this one, that's okay. The bent elbows is just fine. It's a thigh stretch. And let's rise back up to your palms. Step back to your plank, the top of a push-up. Let's lower halfway. Push it back up, slide back to your down dog, fingers wide. Take a big inhale in. Exhale it all out. Pick your left leg up in the air as high as you can. Step that leg in between your hands. Bring it up for a warrior 1, back foot sideways, hands straight up. Bring your hands behind you. Bring your shoulder blades together and pull your shoulders down away from your ears. Begin to look up. Take a big inhale in, and then exhale and dive your body down as you lift your hands up and you drive through that back foot. Release your hands down to the mat, to the inside of your front leg. You can scoot your front leg over to the side of your mat, pivot on your back foot, and now if you can, drop down to your elbows. If you can't, you can just bend those elbows, and that's fine too. And breathe. Breathe into that body. Breathe into that leg. Rise back up to your palms. Step back to your plank. This time let's vinyasa, lower it all the way down. And then a big inhale as you arch your body up. And then a big exhale, push it back to that downward facing dog, fingers as wide as you can, push back into the ground. And now pick your right leg up as high as you can get it. Step that leg in between your hands for a crescent pose. Back heel is off of the ground and your hands are straight up. Remember, you're trying to create a shape of a crescent with your back, from that back heel up through the back of your body and through those arms. So the more you lean back, the deeper of a stretch you'll get. And now you're going to begin to lean out over that front leg. You're reaching forward with your hands. Bring your hands down to the mat, and then you're gonna rise up on your front leg as you lift your back leg into what we call standing splits. Now these ladies are all very flexible, and if you don't quite have the hamstring stretch and you have a slight bend in your knee, that's okay too. But ideally you want to keep trying to straighten that standing leg as much as you can because you're going for a hamstring stretch here. After you get the leg all the way straight is when you can begin to lift that leg and continue to hold, continue to breathe. Remember, you focus on the area of tightness and you try to let it go. Gently begin to bend your front leg. You can step back to a plank, the top of a push-up. Slowly lower it all the way down. Take a big inhale as you arch your body up into an up dog or a cobra, and then push it back to your downward facing dog. Fingers wide, let's push back in our down dog. Pick your left leg up in the air. Step that leg through for a crescent pose. Your back heel's off the ground and hands are straight up. Perfect. Begin to lean out over that front leg. You're reaching forward, and then you set your hands down, rise up on that front leg, lift your back leg into standing splits on that side. And once again, a reminder, that front leg does not have to go all the way straight if you cannot get it straight. It's okay, it will get there in time and practice. Otherwise, you straighten that standing leg as much as you can, and you lift your back leg. And you breathe, and hold. Begin to bend your front leg. Step back to your plank, the top of a push-up, and we're gonna hold our plank this time, and we're gonna work our core a little bit here. You can separate your feet about hip width apart, and let's roll onto your right side for side arm balance. Now you can take a couple variations here. You can keep your feet wide apart, and you may feel a little bit more balance. You can stack your feet. Takes a little bit more balance and strength, but if you got that, that's okay. And another variation of it is you can drop your back knee down and hold it just like this, and that's perfectly fine too. All right, let's roll back to your plank, the top of a push-up, and now you're gonna roll to the other side. Same thing on the other side. Try to mirror whatever you did on the other side. Whatever you did on the other side, we wanna do on this side. So you're equal. We strive for balance in yoga. Roll back to your plank. And let's vinyasa, lower it all the way down. Take a big inhale in as you bring it up. And then a bigger exhale as you push it back into that down dog. Fingers wide, push back into that down dog. Now step or hop your feet to your hands and come to a chair pose, sitting back on your heels. Touch your palms together, bring them together over your chest, hook your right elbow over your left knee. You're gonna perch right down on those knees. Bring it back to your chair pose with your arms up. Touch your palms together again and slide them over your chest. This time, hook the other side. Let's bring it back to a chair pose with your arms up for a few more breaths. Let's challenge ourselves a little bit more and sink a little deeper into our heels and pick our arms up a little higher. Drop your hands straight down. Go ahead and straighten your legs. You can separate your feet about hip width apart and just hang in a forward fold. Slowly, gently roll it up to a standing position. And pick your hands straight up above you. Reach them all the way up through your shoulders, elbows, wrists, and fingers, and rib cage, up as high as you can. Touch your palms together. Slide them over your chest. We are ready for our next lesson.